everybody. It's me, Mediviso, and gotten some questions relating to my name and how it was formed, per se. So I figured, because I was kind of bored, I'd make a video explaining the semi-cringe history of the name of the Mediviso YouTube channel. This might be a bit of a long one. It at first started out as a idea for, frankly, a pretty bad idea for a gaming channel. Keep in mind I was like 5 at the time. But you'll notice that I didn't write it down because, honestly, having to spell that thing, the abomination that was conceived by my brain, and much less writing it down, is a thing I don't even think Stephen Hawking can tackle, and he doesn't even have to write it. So yeah, needless to say, it was a pretty crap idea. It's probably going to be like mainly TF2 and Nintendo game playing. So yeah. Like, the thing itself probably wasn't an inherently bad idea. It's just the name. It was like Metapyro Mario or something like that. It was pretty bad. It was awful. It would be like the sort of thing that like Super Minecraft Kid will regret in the future. It'd be like that. Except I'd regret it like the second I went to high school, or middle school even, because, being honest, it probably would have sucked. Now we've reached the less cringe point of this YouTube channel's name history, where at some point, with some jargon, I eventually came up with the name of Mediviso, which came from the words medic and division, which is also where my channel logo came from. So yeah, I'm not sure which one I came up first, but I'm gonna go with the name first, because something happens after that. Alright, so this is a kind of unrelated tangent, if you will, but the Mediviso, again, I'm pretty sure started with the name, however, it might not have. However, an integral part of this channel's history would be, let's draw this real quick. These people. Now, originally, the flag was like this, however, it changed. It was a red background with a white circle and a black cross with dots in the middle. It was kind of based on like the flag from the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared Kickstarter trailer. It was like that, and originally had like some stuff in like the corners. However, I eventually removed that because I figured it was a pretty bad idea. It just didn't look good. I think the actual like Mediviso flag also. But yeah, I came up with these people, and it was like a sort of combination of like the Enclave combined with like the Empire from Star Wars. And I think like the first instance of these people were essentially just a comic of, I mean, it was hardly a comic actually, but it was essentially just them killing things like from popular stuff. Like there's like, I think there was a Steven Universe one. I know there was that. I can't remember what else there was, but they were okay. I'd say, like, if I had to rate that, it'd be like a 6.5, like, pretty good. P good, not very good, not great, but, you know, okay, acceptable. But yeah, their flag started off as this, and I'm gonna go through its evolution. Now, of course, as you can probably tell, this flag probably wouldn't be acceptable in a whole lot of places, mainly Germany, and I eventually figured this out, so I changed it. That's the only reason this flag was ever changed, and frankly, I quite like the new edition more, but I changed it from a red, white, black to a gray, red, yellow, with gray background, red circle, and a yellow cross. Much prefer this one. In fact, I think you can actually see this flag in, like, the Dark Templar Task Force, the one episode I ever did, because I was pretty bad at animating, and I just gave up on it after a while. But, I mean, it's not that I didn't enjoy it, it's just, if I was going to animate everything, uploads would be, like, once a year, maybe, if that. Because I'd work on a thing, and that's probably, like, the extent of what would happen. Yeah. So, yeah, that's why I have, like, some animations. The stop-motion stuff was also pretty fun, but, again, probably not going to do that anymore. But, yeah, it evolved from that to that, and I'm probably going to talk about the other thing. Alright, so, now we have the Mediviso Empire flag. Now, the history of the empire, or at least the creation history anyway, is, I'd say, kind of interesting. So yeah, kind of interesting, but not particularly interesting. Like this sort of thing you'd tack onto a history of how you got your name, because the video was probably going to be like 2 minutes if it wasn't on there. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting. So, the Diviso Empire definitely came after the Mediviso name, at least, but, yeah. It came with the logo, let's just say. The Empire came with the logo. Now, the Diviso Empire, it had many different things, alright? It started off with this, and then I came up with the idea of this. Now, an interesting side note would be, Snowsieg, as I'd like to call it, or Snowreich, maybe, I don't know. But essentially, this was an idea for a comic I came up with 3 people in my class. One of them who will probably comment on this video being like, hey, whatever happened to that? And I'll probably respond, oh, I never finished it. So yeah, it was originally meant to be an animated series on my YouTube channel, however, again, kind of died because, well, I suck at animating. So, however, the story here is actually pretty interesting, and I might bring it back. Probably, maybe not, but I might bring it back. Might make like a web story out of it, or like maybe make a book or something. I don't know, but the story itself is essentially, I'm actually probably gonna have to draw this later, but, you know, it's an interesting story. I'm probably going to make a separate video for it, like the history of Snowreich. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. And then we come to the interdimensional age, as I like to call it, because this, actually I think this might have come later, but this part right here is where we get into the modern day Diviso Empire. Now, the first edition Diviso Empire was a sort of dynamic thing where it would start off as like a fringe empire, however, would slowly, as the channel grew, the empire itself would slowly grow to encompass more and more as it became like more large and more threatening, I guess. You know, I mean, it wouldn't be like an empire where it'd be like, oh, we're gonna torture you and punish you and that stuff. It, the government itself came in later. And then we have the modern day, or modern day. It's essentially the same, but it has a few design changes afterwards. Now, the modern day Diviso Empire it's kind of like Liechtenstein. That is super hard to pronounce, mostly because I have few skills in German. I'm pretty good, but not like Liechtenstein good. I think I might have actually gotten that one. Point is, you know, it's small. It's practically a joke at this point, and the only reason the interdimensional world even knows its existence is due to the sheer fact that it's pretty much the only small nation left in like the interdimensional wide area. Now, you see, it's a quite interesting history because I might actually end up making a show about this because there's a whole lot of lore and stuff. And eventually, as you can clearly tell, I removed the name of the empire off of, or like Diviso anyway, off of the flag because, I mean, it didn't look bad. I just felt like it would look better. And to be honest, it kind of does, so, you know. But, yeah. At first, I as in like the Mediviso, I was the leader of the Diviso Empire, which then slowly went down from corporal to this channel probably isn't even related to the Empire at all. I say probably because I might like make lore videos where it's like connected somehow, but I doubt it. But yeah, and this event came from some snowballing, or like, you know, throwing paste at the wall and seeing what stuck with a friend of mine, which we still do on occasion, but it's mainly for plot ideas, considering the universe in which it takes place is pretty much finished. Like I say, pretty much. I haven't even drawn the map, though, because I just wasn't really a fan of any of the maps. But I'll probably go into, like, a history overview later, but yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm probably going to make the history of Snowreich pretty soon. Probably the second I stop recording this. So, yeah.